Hey boys and girls, so for today's read aloud, we're going to read Sheila Rae the Brave. And remember, I study that front cover every time I have a book, and you should too. And when we're looking at this front cover, we see this character right here, and I'm going to guess she's Sheila Rae. Now, the author of this book is Kevin Henkes, and we know him because he's also written books that we've read before, like Owen and Chrysanthemum, and Wemberly Worried. So he has lots of books. Sheila Rae the Brave. Let me turn my computer a little bit. There we go. Sheila Rae wasn't afraid of anything. She wasn't afraid of the dark. She wasn't afraid of the thunder and lightning. And she wasn't afraid of the big black dog at the end of the block. At dinner, Sheila Rae made believe that the cherries in her fruit cocktail were the eyes of dead bears, and she ate all 5 of them. At school, Sheila Rae giggled when the principal walked by. And when her classmate Wendell stole her jump rope during recess, Sheila Rae tied him up until the bell rang. "I am very brave," Sheila Rae said, patting herself on the back. So all these different ways that she's being brave right now. Sheila Rae stepped on every crack in the sidewalk without fear. When her sister Louise said there was a monster in the closet, Sheila Rae attacked it. And she rode her bicycle no-handed with her eyes closed. "Yay, yay, Sheila Rae," her friends yelled, clapping their hands. One day, Sheila Rae decided to walk home from school a new way. Louise was afraid to. Remember, Louise was her sister. "You're too brave for me," Louise said. "Oh, you're always such a scaredy cat," Sheila Rae called. "I'm not," Louise whispered. So I'm going to stop and think right now. Sheila Rae is going home a different way, and Louise doesn't want to because she's a little nervous. And was Sheila Rae kind? Stop and think. So she called her a scaredy cat. I don't know if that was very nice. And if you look at Louise's face right there, she doesn't look like she's very happy with Sheila Rae. Sheila Rae started off skipping. "I am brave," she sang. "I am fearless." I want you to study that picture and look who's hiding behind a tree following her. Sheila Rae stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. And if you notice in the pictures, there's someone coming with her. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were all evil creatures. She climbed up them and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Rae walked and walked. She turned corners. She crossed streets. It suddenly occurred to Sheila Rae that nothing looked familiar. That word familiar means she didn't recognize, or nothing looked the same, or something that she knows where she is, so she doesn't know where she is. If you look at her face right now, how do you think she's feeling? If you said worried or scared, you would be right. Sheila Rae heard frightening noises. They sounded worse than thunder. She thought horrible thoughts. They were worse than anything she had ever imagined. "I am brave," Sheila Rae tried to convince herself. "I am fearless." She's saying she's brave and she's saying she's fearless, but look at her face. Stop and think. How's she feeling? Maybe a little bit more worried, but I want you to look at the back. If you really study the picture, I see something back there. The sounds became more frightening. The thoughts became more horrible. Sheila Rae sat down on a rock and cried. "Help," she sniffled. So Sheila Rae was super, super brave at the beginning of the book, but what's happening? Is she changing? The character's changing, right? She thought of her mother and her father and Louise. Mother, father, Louise, she cried. Here I am, a voice said. Oh, look who jumped down from the tree. Louise! Sheila Rae hugged her sister. We're lost, Sheila Rae said. No, we're not, said Louise. I know the way home. Follow me. Louise stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. So now Sheila Rae maybe is not quite so brave, but look what happened. Louise is becoming more and more brave. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She jumped up and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Rae just walked quietly behind her. They walked and walked. They crossed streets. They turned corners. Soon their house could be seen between the trees. Sheila Rae grabbed Louise and dashed up the street. Sheila Rae's feeling something right here. She's so excited that she's finally found her way home, right? When they reached their own yard and gate, and the gate was closed behind them, Sheila Rae said, Louise, you are brave. You are fearless. We both are, said Louise. And they walked backwards into the house with their eyes closed. So now I want you to think about this book and maybe work on retelling it to somebody. Talk to somebody about who the characters were, what happened in the beginning, in the middle, and the end, what was the problem in the book, and how did they solve it. All right, so work with somebody to do that.